understand one thing. What is the place of skepticism in Islamic theory of knowledge? एक जो तबीयतें होती हैं शक करने वाली, डाउट करने वाली, नेगेशन वाली, what is their place? Can I question? अब इसमें दो तरीके हैं skepticism में to overcome your skepticism. One is to become an absolute skeptic and deny that any absolute truth exists. It's all relative. And the second system is to follow a process, follow a path जो आपके तमाम शक व शुबों को खत्म कर दे. This was the path Islamic thought or Islamic thinkers or Islamic philosophers or Islamic Sufis adopted. To give you a rahe saluk, to give you a path of Sharia, to give you a path of tariqa, कि जिस पर आप चलें, you're not going to minimize your questions, you will keep asking the questions, but the process is such, क्योंकि ilm is the process as well ना, मैंने बताया था ना, ilm is a process as well of understanding. It's not merely understanding, it's the process of understanding and it's acting upon it. So path आपको दिए गए कि आप इन पर जब चलोगे तो आपके doubts या आपके जितने भी skeptical आपकी inquiries हैं वो satisfy हो जाएंगी. And in Islam even big names like Ibn Sina, like Al-Ghazali, they started their journey from skepticism. Al-Ghazali is one of the foremost Sufi theologian, jurist in Islam. Very few have come to the rank of Ghazali even in the Islamic thought. And we have a huge culture spanning about 1200 years of intellectual exercise. उसमें एक बंदे के बारे में ये कहना कि उसके साथ के बहुत कम हैं, तो you can understand what kind of a person Ghazali must be, इल्मी तौर पर. लेकिन it started from skepticism. And how it started? उनकी किताब है मशहूर Al-Munqiz min al-Zalal, Deliverance from Error. I would recommend it to everybody. It's a small book. You should read it. And one day Ghazali wakes up and he is at that time Mufti. And he is the principal of Nishapur. That was the Harvard of Islam. He was the principal of that. And he questioned himself that a Christian is a Christian because his father told him to be so. And a Muslim is a Muslim because his father told him so. And a Hindu is a Hindu because his father told him so. So none of them know the truth actually. Okay. There are two kinds of knowledge according to theory of knowledge of Sufism. One are called the Naqli Ulum and one are called the Aqli Ulum. Naqli Ulum is that knowledge that comes from outside and goes inside. The knowledge that I read from a book, किसी आलिम के पास जाता हूँ, किसी मदरसे में जाता हूँ, किसी कॉलेज में जाता हूँ. This is all Naqli ilm. It is not my experience. Somebody experienced it, he wrote a book about it, and now I'm reading it and I'm gaining that knowledge. Whatever comes from outside to inside is called Naqli ilm. लेकिन अकली इल्म का इससे कोई ताल्लुक नहीं. It is called Wijdan, it's called Huzuri ilm. It is innate knowledge. It is knowledge I am born with. Like a kid is born with knowledge of Wahad. We will discuss it after this. So according to Sufi theory of knowledge, just because somebody is saying this is morality, just because somebody is saying this is religion, it doesn't mean anything. All cultures have their biases, all scholars have their claims. How do I know what I am being told is true or not? And for that I have to go through experience. Now what is the source of that experience? इसको भी आज तक identify नहीं किया हमने. I'm telling you, we have so much work to do. और हंसता हूँ इसमें मैं इनसे हमेशा कहता हूँ कि let's work on communicative theology, let's work on theory of knowledge. इसके sources क्या हैं? For Sufi, the source is life. You have to consider your God interacting with you and living. And you have to be in his hazuri. You have to consider your Prophet living and you have to be in the hazuri of the Prophet. You have to consider Quran a living being, not a book. And you have to be in this presence. So when these three sources are identified and you have faith in them, but faith is not even important. You have to experience the life of the Prophet, of God and of Quran. So us waqt you get what Sufis call Zaiqa. or in English we call it the mystical experience, or in more advanced English literature we call it the epiphanic revelation, और सूफियों की ज़बान में इसको कश्फ ताम कहते हैं, when the realities are opened up to you, not through traditional knowledge, but a knowledge that rises from inside and goes outside. तो नकली इल्म हमेशा बाहर से अंदर आएगा और अकली इल्म हमेशा अंदर से बाहर जाएगा. These are two dynamic modes. और इसमें एक वो बायजीद बस्तामी का डायलॉग है विद अ मुहद्दिस एंड विद अ फकीह, एंड इट्स वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग, कि वो कहते हैं कि तुम अपना मुर्दा इल्म मुर्दा किताबों और मुर्दों से लेते हो, और हम अपना जिंदा इल्म अपने जिंदा खुदा और जिंदा किताब से लेते हैं. तो यू कैन अंडरस्टैंड दैट इज वो एक यहाँ पर डिफरेंस आता है. इसलिए सूफीइज्म की थ्योरी ऑफ नॉलेज में ट्रेडिशनल नॉलेज, ताकुल, अकल, बिकॉज सूफीज ने अकल को कभी भी निगेट नहीं किया. दाता साहब वो हस्ती हैं जो आपके शहर में ही जो रहते हैं, मैं तो कहूँगा रहते हैं, बिकॉज आई बिलोंग टू दैट डिसिप्लिन, बिकॉज इसके ऊपर हयात के ऊपर भी हम किस दिन बात करेंगे कि कुरान के नज़दीक जिंदा असल में है कौन और मुर्दा असल में कौन है. हमें आदत है अपनी आंखों से हर चीज़ को देखने की. कुरान को तो हमने बस वो ख़त्म के लिए और मिलादों के लिए छोड़ दिया. बहरहाल कश्फुल महजूब में he identifies between खबर and नज़र. खबर is the information and nazar is the rational faculty. It's not that Sufis are denying it. They deny all transmission. They don't deny any transmission. They believe in रवायती इल्म, उस पर अमल करते हैं. They believe in rational discourse. They believe in inductive reasoning, but at the same time they want to experience it. और उसके लिए वो कहते हैं कि well and good, everything is great, but unless you have gone through experience and tasted the reality, everything is a mere knowledge. It will not become ilm. तो वहीं पर epistemological हम वो discourse पर आ गए हैं कि इल्म सूफी के लिए वो है that stands validated in his own experience, and for that you need a skeptic outlook. You need to learn the art of questioning. And if you look at Islam, it has given you people like Ibn Sina and Jabir bin Hayyan and Ibn al-Haytham and people like Razi and Ghazali and Ibn al-Arabi. Countless list. These were the people who were responsible for the flowering of what we call the free thinking culture, even at the cost of being labeled heretics. All of them were considered heretics. They were considered non-Muslims. Many of them were killed, but they never stopped. And because of these people, we had the blossoming of free thinking culture and experiential zone of mystical experience in Islam. So we really owe to these people. अगर ये लोग न होते और इन्होंने इतनी कुर्बानियां हुसैन से लेकर आज तक न दी होती, we would have never understood कि theory of knowledge कुरान की है क्या.